I still remember the moment it all started. My boyfriend, Jay, brought me back to his hometown. And suddenly, a stream of comments popped up before my eyes. Run. Girl. Run. Your boyfriend is trying to trick you into going back to the village to sell you. This guy is such a creep. Preying on orphans with no family. No one would even notice if she disappeared. Don't panic. I've seen this movie twice. The main character isn't easy to mess with. Just wait for the show to begin. I was confused. Were these comments about me? I was just a poor orphan. Wasn't I? A user called. Melancholy Fries chimed in. You mean bamboo green spoilers? Right? The story begins now. I just started dating Jay. He was a brilliant student. Great at his job. And handsome too. I couldn't figure out why he'd picked me. I was just an ordinary girl. Nothing special. Except maybe a little braver than most. As the holidays approached, Jay asked if I wanted to meet his parents. I readily agreed. Before we left, he warned me his home was pretty remote. I didn't think much of it then. Not until I'd been on a 15-hour train ride with him. After we got off in the county, we switched to a motorcycle. Then a tractor. Bouncing along for 5 or 6 hours. After all the twists and turns, we finally reached the village entrance. That's when I realized his home wasn't just remote. It was incredibly isolated. Let's go, Jay said. Ever the gentleman. He helped me off the tractor. Then grabbed my luggage. Just as I was thinking I must have accumulated good karma for 8 lifetimes to find such a wonderful boyfriend, another stream of comments appeared before my eyes. Run. Girl. Run. Your boyfriend is trying to trick you into going back to the village to sell you. This guy is such a creep. Preying on orphans with no family. No one would even notice if she disappeared. Don't panic. I've seen this movie twice. The main character isn't easy to mess with. Just wait for the show to begin. I thought I was seeing things. But the comments were still floating in midair. It seemed my world was a movie about abduction. And I was the protagonist. What's Tara thinking? Come on. Let's go home. Mom and Dad are waiting for us. Jay's gentle voice called from ahead. Meeting his urging gaze, I was startled. I hunched over, clutching my stomach. Feigning pain. My stomach hurts. Just a little longer. We're almost home. No. I can't hold it, I said, dragging my suitcase and running into a nearby copse of trees. Then I told my boyfriend. Watch out for the tractor driver. Don't let him peek. Okay. Jay's tone was still gentle. But I clearly saw the undisguised disdain in his eyes. My heart sank. Realizing the comments were probably accurate. Hiding behind the bushes, I pulled out my phone. There was no signal. Which meant I couldn't call for help. Huh? The protagonist figured it out. Too bad it's too late. This place is in the middle of nowhere. No signal either. If I remember correctly, only the village store has a phone. Jay called out. Tara. Are you done? Hurry up. Almost. Almost. I took a fruit knife from my suitcase and tucked it into the back of my waistband. Then, looking calm, I followed Jay into the village. Just as the comments said. This place was isolated. The tractor driver and Jay were in it together. There was no way for me to run. So I decided to observe the situation first. Jay's village looked dilapidated, with low-slung houses. The way the men on the roadside looked at me made me uncomfortable. Like they were eyeing a sow. They whispered. Jay brought another woman home. Jay's really got something. Unlike my son, who has to use force. No choice. Jay's a college grad and a pretty boy. City women are all gold diggers. They deserve what they get. Jay shot them a glance. And the man immediately fell silent. He reassured me. These guys just love to gossip when they're idle. Don't pay them any mind. I pretended not to care. I know what you are. Don't I? My heart kept sinking. From the men's words, it seemed Jay had abducted more than one woman. And others in the village were also involved in human trafficking. At this moment, my enemies weren't just Jay, but the entire village. After a few more steps, I heard a woman's piercing cry. Stop hitting me. Please stop. It was accompanied by a man's vicious curses. I'll hit you. You like to run, don't you? I'll beat you so you can't run anymore. I looked in the direction of the sound and saw a 40-something one-eyed man dragging a slender woman into a house under a low wall. It was winter. And she was wearing only a thin shirt. Her exposed arms were covered in old and new scars. And one leg was twisted at an unnatural angle, dragging a winding trail of blood on the ground. The man saw me looking and smirked proudly. The comments were outraged. Here we go again. Every time a kidnapped woman comes to the village, Jay arranges for old Zhao to beat Fiona. He just wants to scare the new ones by showing them Fiona's fate so they won't dare to run. If I remember correctly, she was kidnapped right after high school or college. Men are truly the most poisonous. Sigh. Tonight, Fiona will choose suicide to end this painful life. It's a release for her. My grip on my luggage handle tightened slightly, rage surging in my chest. I had to find a way to call the police and save Fiona. And myself. I clutched my stomach again. Jay frowned slightly. What now? I think I just got my period. Where's the general store? I need to buy some sanitary pads. Jay sighed in relief. I'll take you there now. The general store was quite out of the way, at the foot of the mountain. The first thing I noticed was the red telephone on the counter. There was only one proprietress in the store. Just as I was wondering how to get rid of her and Jay, the proprietress spoke first. Very warmly. Jay. You're finally here. I've been waiting for you for a long time. She then looked at me critically, as if evaluating a sow that could produce piglets. This woman looks a bit thin. And her backside is small. Can she bear a chubby son for my son? Jason? Damn it. I cursed inwardly. So this proprietress was the buyer. Jay sold me for $80,000. How ironic. My promising life was only worth a few stacks of thin bills. Before I was sold, I tried to escape and resist. I remembered the comments, I'm not easy to mess with. I thought I might have some superpower I didn't know about. The result of my resistance was that all the nearby villagers came to subdue me. Even with my fitness habit, I was no match for them. After taking a few slaps and kicks, I chose to give up resisting and preserve my strength. So, I didn't pull out the knife hidden in my waistband. I highly doubted the comments were wrong. I had already confirmed with my actions that I was truly an ordinary person. Before leaving, Jay specifically warned me. Tara. Don't blame me. Blame yourself for not knowing your place. You're an orphan with no parents. How could I ever fancy you? Just stay put at Jason's house. You saw what happened to that woman today. If you dare to run, you'll have your legs broken. Comments. Ah. My fists are clenched. What kind of victim-blaming crap is this? Jay. Why don't you just die? Don't worry. The protagonist will chase him to the ends of the earth later. Exactly. As arrogant as Jay is now, he'll be just as cowardly later. I looked at my body, bound like a mummy, and remained silent. How could I chase him? Would I become a vengeful ghost after I died? As an atheist, I quickly converted to a believer in spirits. But I still didn't dare to die to test my theory. After Jay left, the proprietress locked me in a basement. My hands and feet were tied. I secretly used the knife hidden in my waistband to untie myself. Then subtly rearranged the rope so it looked like I was still tightly bound. During this time, a frail-looking woman named Lily brought me food once. She looked distressed and seemed to be in her early 20s. I asked, "Were you also tricked by Jay?" She shook her head. I was kidnapped by others in the village. She then advised me, "Just be good, and you'll suffer less." Okay. Please feed me first. I need to eat to have the strength to work. She fed me 3 bowls of rice. She asked if I wanted more, and I forced myself to eat. Not long after I finished eating, the proprietress came with her obese son. Jason. Son. Mom bought you another daughter-in-law. Your new wife isn't picky and will definitely bear you a fat son. The fat son chuckled, clapping his hands. Want fat son? Want fat son? Seeing Lily still standing nearby, the proprietress kicked her aside. Get out. I'm going to have a baby. Lily was dragged away by the proprietress. Before she left, Lily didn't forget to tell me, "Don't go against her. You'll suffer less." The proprietress sneered. You think she's like you? Going on a hunger strike when you first arrived? She ate 5 bowls of rice as soon as she got here. She won't let herself suffer even a little bit. You should worry more about yourself. Tonight, I'm selling you. You barren hen. Lily's face turned pale, and she just wept silently, as if resigned to her fate. Soon, the dark basement was left with just me and the fat son. Heh heh. Wife. The fat son mumbled, drooling. His head tilted slightly. His smile was innocent yet cruel. It was obvious he had some intellectual disability. He quickly lunged at me, his mountain-like body crushing me, making it hard to breathe. His cloudy eyes were filled with excitement, and his saliva smeared my face, making me nauseous. I remained expressionless, pulling out the fruit knife hidden in my waistband. I plunged it hard into the back of his neck. Blood gushed out, staining my eyes red. The fat son's reaction was a bit sluggish. He slowly lifted his head. I decisively pulled out the knife, aimed for his carotid artery, and stabbed again. Comments. Oh my God. She just killed him. The protagonist is ruthless. Who understands? I finally feel satisfied watching this part. The fat son finally realized he'd been stabbed. He roared in anger and punched me, making my head spin. But soon, he couldn't bother with me anymore. He was losing too much blood. He started to panic, desperately calling for his mother while clutching his gushing neck. The proprietress was standing at the door. Hearing the commotion, she quickly opened the door and ran in. Seeing her son convulsing like a chicken with its throat slit, she panicked. "Son, don't be scared. Mom's here." At this moment, her eyes were completely on her son. She didn't even glance at me. Hastily tearing off the scarf from her neck and trying to stop his bleeding. This was my chance to escape. And also my chance to kill her. I chose to kill her first. Then run. Otherwise, when she recovered, she'd definitely call the villagers to catch me. I quietly moved behind her, raising my hand. But someone kicked me away. The kick was so hard that I landed on the ground, spitting out a mouthful of blood, unable to get up for a long time. At some point, a middle-aged man in his 50s appeared in the room. His hair was gray, and his dark face was covered in tree bark-like wrinkles. The proprietress saw the man and immediately found her backbone. "Husband, you're finally here. Damn it. The boss who went to get goods is back." The proprietress cried. "Our son is bleeding so much. I can't stop it. Please take him to the hospital. He's dead." The proprietress's mind went blank. He's dead? She killed my son. I want her to pay with her life. She charged at me, intending to kill me. But the boss stopped her. She can't die yet. The boss's sinister eyes were fixed on me. She killed my son. I want her to bear me a son. I immediately understood his meaning and broke out in a cold sweat. This man, old enough to be my father, wanted me to bear him a child. Comments scrolled rapidly before my eyes. It's over. The protagonist's 3 years of miserable life are about to begin. She'll have her limbs broken and be forced to give birth to 3 children in this basement. Finally dying in childbirth. Dead? So I really will become a vengeful ghost to get revenge? The next comments negated my guess. This is going to be a revenge-filled power fantasy now. The protagonist is a saint from 10 previous lives, destined to live to 100. Even if she dies, she'll resurrect in any corner of the village. She'll keep being killed and keep resurrecting until she kills all the evil people in the village. I suddenly understood why. At 6 years old, my parents and I were in a car accident. They died on the spot. But I appeared in the grass not far from the crash site, miraculously alive. Everyone said my mom threw me out the window in a moment of crisis. But in reality, I had died in the car, only to resurrect near the accident site, completely unharmed. The boss had walked up to me, his voice sinister. "I'll break your arms and legs, making you wish for death in this basement. Unable to die. You'll be like a female dog, giving birth to my sons, one after another. Won't you?" I grinned. And without hesitation, I slit my own throat. Killing was something you got better at with practice. After practicing on the fat son, I knew how to kill myself as quickly as possible. Afraid I wouldn't die thoroughly enough, I stabbed myself in the stomach again, twisting the knife violently a couple of times. Blood splattered all over the boss, startling him, and he instinctively recoiled. Crazy. This is a lunatic. The comments were also shocked. I was wrong. This protagonist is a werewolf. Even crazier than a ruthless person. This is great. She's so brutal to herself. She'll definitely be even more brutal to the human traffickers. I'm so happy to see the protagonist escape. But why is this plot different from what I saw before? As the comments predicted, I resurrected after I died. When I regained consciousness, I found my body perfectly intact, still wearing my original clothes. I was standing by a low wall. Inside the house, Fiona's cries echoed. "Stop hitting me. Please stop." The man's voice was twisted. "You're my wife. I paid for you. I'll beat you however I want." Fiona seemed to have resigned herself. "I promise you. I'll never run again. I'll just live with you obediently." The man sneered. "You think I'm hitting you because you ran? I'll tell you the truth, 2 years ago, I had some problems with my body. That thing doesn't work anymore. I only feel like a man when I hit women." Fiona despaired. What evil did I do in my last life for God to treat me like this? I felt a little dazed, wondering if I hadn't really resurrected and was still in hell. The courtyard gate was ajar. I lightened my steps and walked in. First, I went to the storage room and grabbed an axe. The axe was a bit heavy, but I had a fitness habit, so it was easy enough to lift. Then, I stood at the door, knocking repeatedly. "Who is it?" The one-eyed man's impatient voice came from inside. "Didn't you hear I'm busy beating a woman?" I chuckled in anger. How could he say such a monstrous thing so matter-of-factly? I didn't reply, just silently continued knocking. "Stop ing knocking. If I find out you don't have something important for me, I'll kill you." The man came to open the door, cursing. The moment the door opened, I raised the axe and brought it down. The axe was aimed at his head. He seemed to sense the danger and tilted his head slightly to the left. My axe struck his shoulder, hacking off his right hand. Looking at the severed hand at my feet, I kicked it towards the wolf dog sleeping nearby. "You like to hit women with this hand, huh? I'm going to make sure you're never a person again." The wolf dog, chained up, smelled the blood and ravenously began to gnaw on it. The one-eyed man's eyes widened in horror. "Ah. You be asterisk. I'll kill you." Rage clouded his mind, and he completely forgot I still had a weapon. Or perhaps he thought that as a man, even with one hand, he could easily kill a woman like me. I nimbly dodged to the side. He stumbled forward, nearly falling. Another axe blow fell. This time, I didn't miss. The axe struck him squarely in the head. The one-eyed man's eyes were wide open, full of disbelief. He probably never imagined he would die today, and at the hands of a woman he despised. The comments cheered. "Great! Fiona was saved by the protagonist. She won't commit suicide today. I love this protagonist. Ruthless and straight to the point." Honestly, my small frame struggles to lift this axe. I'm hitting the gym tomorrow. I kicked the one-eyed man into the house. Fiona, who had been beaten and was lying on the ground, finally recovered from the shock. She limped to her feet and quickly closed the door. Inside, the one-eyed man wasn't quite dead. He was still gasping, like a broken bellows. With a faint voice, he said, "You be asterisk. You think you're free now that you've killed me? I'm telling you, the villagers won't let you go." I smiled slightly. Why not just kill them all? The one-eyed man's pupils contracted, looking at me as if I were a monster. I pulled out the axe and brought it down again, completely ending his life. Blood splattered on Fiona. She froze for a moment, then slowly blinked. When she realized that the devil who had tormented her for years was finally dead, she burst into tears, as if releasing years of accumulated suffering. "It's okay," I comforted her. "He won't hit you ever again." Fiona calmed down slightly, her eyes red, and thanked me. Then she asked, "Are you going to escape? This place is all mountains, and they're all his people. You can't escape." As she spoke, her body trembled, clearly having suffered greatly in the past. I said calmly, "Why should I escape? They're the ones who should be running. Stay here. And don't do anything foolish. I'll eventually take you out of this hellhole." Fiona looked at the one-eyed man lying beside her, then trustingly at me. "Then what can I do for you?" I thought for a moment. "Do you have any rat poison at home?" "Yes." She quickly rummaged through the house and found the rat poison. I asked again, "Do you know where Jay lives?" Hearing his name, Fiona clenched her fists, her nails digging deeply into her flesh. She didn't notice the hatred burning in her eyes. She said, "I know. Do you want me to take you?" "No. Just tell me the location. You stay home and don't go anywhere. I'll bring you his head." I had my own considerations. If I encountered mortal danger, I could die and resurrect. But Fiona only had one life. She couldn't risk it like I could. Besides, before settling scores with Jay, I had more important things to do, which was to save Lily. I had just noticed the spoiler in the comments. Lily would be sold by the general store owner tonight. She would fall into the hands of a pervert and wouldn't last 2 days. Fiona looked at her broken leg and readily agreed. "Okay. I'll listen to you. I won't hold you back." After a brief rest at Fiona's place, I went to the general store. My original plan was to sneak in through the backyard, deal with the owner's family, and then rescue Lily. However, when I reached the backyard wall, I saw the owner's family and even Jay in the courtyard. But I didn't see Lily. I wasn't sure if she had already been sold or was still inside the house. The comments only said she would be sold tonight, not the exact time. At that moment, the owner was arguing with Jay. "Jay, look at the mess you made. I told you to find a docile, obedient woman. And this is what you brought me? My only son was killed by her." The owner grabbed Jay's collar. To the right of the paper, Jason's body was laid out. He had changed into clean clothes, lying motionless on a door plank. His pale face was painted with 2 dabs of blush, and his lips were thickly coated with lipstick. The cold moonlight shone on him, making him look somewhat eerie. The proprietress seemed oblivious. She tenderly stroked his face, shedding tears. "My Jason was only 30 years old and he died just like that." Jay frowned. "I didn't know Tara would do such a thing. I dated her for almost half a year. And she was always obedient and kind. She wouldn't even kill a fish, let alone a person." His scornful gaze fell on Jason. "Maybe your Jason was just too useless. That's why." He hadn't finished his sentence when the owner punched him several times. Blood streamed from his nose on his handsome face, making him look utterly disheveled. Jay tried to fight back. He was used to being respected at the company, With his prestigious school background, good looks, and efficient work, everyone treated him politely, and many young women admired him. He had never suffered such a humiliation. But Jay, used to sitting in an office all day, was no match for the owner, a man of the countryside. He took several more punches and finally accepted the situation. No longer struggling, the proprietress walked over and slapped him a few times. Her eyes were red. "My Jason is dead. How dare you slander him like that? I wonder if he can take care of himself underground." The owner comforted her. "Wife, don't worry. A woman just died in the neighboring village. And she was gentle and docile in life. We can buy her to be a wife for our Jason, to serve him like a slave underground. As for Tara, I've also found a good place for her." I sneered. "You want to give me a ghost marriage? Later, I'll send them to see Jason and let them take care of him personally." As if venting his anger, the owner punched Jay several more times. I was happy to see them turn on each other. But right now, I wanted to find out if Lily was still in the house. Rushing in directly wasn't feasible. If I faced all three of them head-on, I wouldn't be able to win quickly. Although I could subdue them after dying a few times, it would take too much time. Even I didn't know which corner of the village I would resurrect in. I looked at the surrounding terrain, a plan vaguely forming in my mind. The conversation between the owner and Jay continued. "Now my son is gone. And Tara is also dead. You owe me a woman to bear me sons. It's no problem for me to trick another one. But you have to pay." Jay spat out a mouthful of blood. Over the years, many women brought to the village have been beaten to death for being disobedient. Or they committed suicide because they couldn't bear the torment. But none of the buyers ever asked me for money. "If you open this door, how will I do business in the future?" The owner thought for a moment. "I used up all my savings to buy Tara. I only have $30,000 now, which I just got from selling Lily. That's all I have. Are you doing this business or not?" His hand on Jay's neck tightened, his eyes full of menace. Jay had just been beaten and didn't dare to provoke the man who had just lost his only son. He gave in. "All right. 30,000 it is." Suddenly, the sound of breaking glass came from the backyard kitchen. I was the one who threw the stone. I had figured out the fastest way to get information about Lily. The sudden sound of glass shattering in the otherwise quiet night startled the owner, the proprietress, and Jay. The owner saw the stone by the window and became furious. "Which son of a b*** knows I lost my son and started messing with me like this?" He threw Jay aside, picked up an iron rod from the corner, and yelled, "I'm going to teach you a good lesson today. See if you dare to mess with me again." He opened the backyard door and stepped out. There were no streetlights outside the courtyard. It was pitch black. He looked around, couldn't see me, and got even angrier. "Coward! Get out here now. Fight me fair and square." He chased a few more steps. I was hidden behind a tree not far away. When he reached the tree, his back to me as he looked around, I took a deep breath, and by the moonlight, brought the axe, which I had held high above my head, down. It hit him squarely in the head. Ah! The owner was in too much pain to speak. He felt the whole world spinning and stumbled backward several steps. Seeing me in the moonlight, his expression twisted. revealing an almost imperceptible fear. How are you still alive? Have you become a ghost to claim my life? The air was filled with the smell of urine. The owner looked terrified, stumbling backward. Just as I wondered how he could still be so lively, he collapsed to the ground, convulsing and foaming at the mouth. We were some distance from the backyard, obscured by the wall and large trees. The proprietress couldn't see what was happening. Hearing the owner's commotion, she called out anxiously, "Old Bob, are you all right?" I calmly walked to the owner's side, pulled out the axe, and swung it between his legs. The owner let out a desperate shriek. His hands reached out to grab me, as if to drag me to hell. But he couldn't even touch my pants. I sneered. "Still want me to bear you children? Not in your next life. But now that you're missing your roots, you'd be perfect as a wife for your son. Don't think it's impossible. I'm telling you. Real men should be with men. Stop messing with women all the time." As I spoke, I ended his life with another axe blow. His eyes were wide open, a mixture of rage and humiliation, a look of deathly indignation. Comments. It's not even one night, and the protagonist has already killed 3. I believe it now. This is a power fantasy. I'm really curious how many the protagonist will kill tonight. My gaze fell on the 2 people in the courtyard. Next, it was their turn. The dark environment favored my movements. I remained hidden in the shadows. Just as I thought. The proprietress, worried about the owner's safety and seeing his prolonged silence, feared he was in danger and came looking for him. She was smarter than the owner. She even brought a flashlight. However, after I dealt with old Bob, I hid in a tree. The proprietress couldn't find me for a while. Unexpectedly, Jay didn't follow her. He was still angry about the beating he just received. He sneered. "Old Bob, your enemies are coming for you. I'm not getting involved in this mess." With that, he turned and walked away without looking back. I didn't chase him. As long as he was still in this village, I would eventually find him. The most urgent task was to get Lily's whereabouts from the proprietress. So, I didn't bother with him anymore. I jumped down from the tree and quickly subdued the proprietress, tying her up tightly with rope. The proprietress looked at me as if she had seen a ghost. Her face pale, her body trembling like a sieve. Her words were almost identical to the owner's. "Tara, how could it be you? Have you become a ghost to claim our lives?" When she touched my warm skin, she stopped trembling and froze. "You're actually alive? How could you still be alive?" Her voice became increasingly shrill. "You killed my son and old Bob. Why are you still alive? I'll use my last breath to kill you." She struggled fiercely until the sharp knife tip pressed against her neck, drawing a trace of blood. Only then did she gradually calm down. "Enough nonsense. Where is Lily?" "At the butcher Liam's place." "I'll take you there." Unexpectedly, the proprietress was incredibly cooperative. I was a little suspicious. "You're not tricking me, are you?" "How could I trick you? I'm eager for you to go to Liam the butcher. He's a pervert and very strong. You'll definitely have a bad time going to him. Just wait to be tormented until you wish for death but can't die," she said through clenched teeth. I listened, unmoved. Before going to Liam the butcher, I went to the general store first, planning to call the police. The whole situation with Lily had been a wake-up call for me. Although I preferred to use my own methods to punish these beasts, Fiona and Lily might get hurt in the process. It was best to call the police first and have them rescued. When I got to the general store, I found the phone line had been cut. It must have been Jay. He was the most vengeful person. When he saw old Bob get hacked, he probably thought I would call an ambulance. The proprietress sobbed, unaware that old Bob no longer needed an ambulance. Comments. I'm dying of laughter. Jay just cut off his own escape route. Exactly. If the protagonist had called the police, Jay might have lived. But now, he can only pray for himself. When Jay wakes up in the middle of the night, he's going to think, what's wrong with me? Why did I cut the phone line for no reason? I remained calm. All right. Take me to Liam the butcher. Before going to Liam the butcher, I threw the owner's body into the house. I had thought it through clearly. Since I couldn't call the police, I had to quickly eliminate those who posed a threat to Lily and others. After about 20 minutes of walking, I saw Liam the butcher's house on the mountainside. In the dark, shadowy mountain, I could see a building with lights on. At the foot of the mountain, the proprietress refused to go any further. I've obediently listened to you and brought you to Liam the butcher. Can you let me go? Seeing my indifference, her tone became more urgent. Yes. I sold you. But you're still alive and well. Aren't you? Instead, my husband and son lost their lives. Why must women make it difficult for other women? Can you please not kill me? I promise I won't seek revenge. She hadn't finished speaking when I slit her throat. I didn't believe a single word she said. If she truly understood the principle of women not making it difficult for other women, she wouldn't have beaten and cursed Lily, then turned around and sold her to a pervert. I was sure that if I let her go, she would turn around and sell me. After hiding the proprietress's body behind some bushes, I continued forward. After about 50 feet, I stepped into a trap. Luckily, I reacted quickly, hooked my axe onto a nearby tree branch, and used the momentum to roll onto the ground. No wonder the proprietress stopped at the foot of the mountain. She had wanted to use this trap to kill me. From then on, I used my axe to probe the path ahead, successfully avoiding 2 more traps. When I was about 100 feet from the mid-mountain, I suddenly heard women screaming and running from above, accompanied by the furious barking of 2 hunting dogs. I looked up and saw that Liam the butcher's tightly shut iron gate had opened at some point. A man with a scarred, fleshy face stood at the gate, holding 3 hunting dogs on leashes. He must be Liam the butcher. The women running down the mountain were Lily and a very young girl who looked like a child. Her pant legs were tattered, revealing bloodied, almost bare shins. It was clear the hunting dogs had done it. At this moment, Lily was supporting the limping girl, running down the mountain. Liam the butcher just watched and smiled, like a demon hidden inside human skin. Lily. Susie. Run faster. Hide well. In 3 minutes. I'm bringing my 3 little beasts to catch you. 3 emaciated, injured hyenas with glowing green eyes, like ghostly fires. This butcher Liam was treating living people like prey, toying with them. No wonder the comments said he was a pervert. Sister Lily, you don't have to mind me. Just run. My leg was bitten, so I can't run fast anyway. My mom will come to save me when she gets down the mountain. The girl's desperate yet determined voice echoed through the silent forest. She had no idea that Liam the butcher never intended to let them go. There was only one way down the mountain. And I had already encountered 3 of the traps he had set. Lily stubbornly dragged her forward. Don't talk. Save your strength. Just run. They were relatively lucky. They didn't encounter any traps as they ran down. When Lily and Susie passed me, I pulled them aside. Before they could scream, I spoke. Don't be afraid. It's me. The mountain path was winding and unlit. Pitch black. Liam the butcher couldn't know what was happening here. Lily recognized my voice and became even more scared. Weren't you dead? She had seen me collapse in a pool of blood in the basement. I didn't have time to explain. I whispered. If you want to live, come with me. Lily looked up at Liam the butcher on the mountain. Probably thinking that a human was more terrifying than a ghost. She bit her lip and finally followed me to the vicinity of the traps. When they saw the trap I had uncovered with a stone, they both gasped. If I hadn't pulled them away just now, they would have fallen into the trap. I instructed them. Now, take off your coats and pants and throw them into the trap. Lily and Susie obediently complied. Susie's pants were already stuck to her flesh and blood, making her wince in pain as she pulled them off. After all that, I helped them hide in a tree. I also climbed the tree closest to the trap. I warned Lily and the other girl. Susie, no matter what happens later, don't come down and don't make any noise. I'll deal with him. About a minute later, Liam the butcher made his move. Little mice. Have you hidden well? I'm coming to find you. His sinister voice drifted through the mountains, sending shivers down my spine. He released the 3 hunting dogs. Their bodies darted like lightning, rushing towards us, barking furiously, their mouths drooling with excitement. They were clearly very hungry. In the silent night, their sound seemed like a death knell. Liam the butcher followed unhurriedly, holding a flashlight to illuminate his path. Susie had already suffered at the teeth of these 3 hunting dogs and cried softly. They're coming to catch us. We can't escape. We can't escape. Lily quickly comforted her. Susie, don't be scared. Tara is a ghost. No matter how powerful Liam the butcher is, can he be more powerful than a ghost? She'll definitely protect us. I moved my mouth but said nothing in the end. If this explanation could make them feel at ease, then let them temporarily believe I was a ghost. Susie stopped crying. That's great. You're a ghost. Lily and I are saved. Soon after, the 3 hunting dogs reached our hiding spot. They stopped, sniffing around the trees and the trap. Perhaps the scent of Susie's blood-stained pants in the trap was too strong. But the 3 hunting dogs eventually stopped by the trap. They determined that Lily and Susie had fallen into the trap and barked continuously at it. Not long after, Liam the butcher also arrived at the trap. I breathed a sigh of relief. I had won the gamble. Comments erupted at this moment. Ah. I just replayed it and noticed the protagonist has been secretly pulling out her knife. She deliberately let those 3 dogs bite her so badly. Right? Just to make Liam the butcher drop his guard. This is great. Everyone is saved. I still say, protagonist, please don't let Liam the butcher go. Just seeing his disgusting face made my fists clench countless times. I'm willing to trade 10 years of my ex-boyfriend's life for the protagonist's success. My ex-boyfriend would agree too. Liam the butcher cursed. How boring. These women are all idiots. They deserve to die by my hands. As he shone his flashlight into the trap, I hooked my legs around the tree, hanging upside down, and brought the axe down towards Liam the butcher. Unexpectedly, Liam the butcher actually dodged it. The blinding light made me instinctively close my eyes. My heart sank. Liam the butcher was smarter than I thought. No wonder the proprietress had so willingly led me to him. The next second, my scalp tingled with pain. Liam the butcher had pulled me down from the tree. He kicked me in the chest. And he also snatched the axe from my hand. I winced in pain, feeling as if several of my bones had been broken. He looked down at me. Well. A new face. Whose little wife ran away? You've got some guts. Not only did you not avoid me, but you dared to ambush me. He deliberately ground his foot into my broken ribs. Do you know I'm not just a butcher, but also a hunter? I'm most sensitive to danger. Seeing me remain silent, he sneered. Oh. A tough one. I love tough ones the most. I'll break your hard bones bit by bit, making you cry and beg me like a dog. That taste is far more delicious than fine food. I spat at him. Keep dreaming. He was furious and laughed back. All right. I hope you're still so tough later. After a whistle, the 3 hungry dogs lunged at me. Their canines sank deep into my flesh and bone. The intense pain from my body and the putrid smell assaulted my nostrils. No matter how much I struggled, I couldn't shake off the 3 dogs. Comments. I can't bear to watch anymore. Protagonist. Why don't you just die and respawn? But if the protagonist respawns, Lily and Susie will definitely be tortured to death. Didn't someone watch this movie? Can someone spoil it? Does the protagonist eventually escape and save Lily and Susie? I don't know either. This movie seems different from what I saw at first. Seeing my expression of unbearable pain, Liam the butcher was ecstatic. It hurts a lot. Doesn't it? If you kneel and kowtow to me 3 times, I can make my 3 dogs stop. I repeated. Keep dreaming. Perhaps because few people ever disobeyed him. Liam the butcher frowned in irritation. He then chuckled, as if he had thought of another good way to torment me. All right. You've got guts. He stopped looking at me and shouted loudly into the air. Little mice. I know you're nearby. This woman was bitten for your sake. There's not a single good piece of flesh left on her. If you come out obediently, I'll let her live. How about it? You wouldn't be so heartless as to just watch her die, would you? She became like this because of you. Only the howling wind could be heard in the woods. Listening closely, I could hear a girl's whimpering. Liam the butcher continued to coax them. You know, with my methods, I'll always find you. If you come out now, she can still live. But if I find you, you won't have the right to negotiate with me. Shut up. I propped myself up against a nearby tree and walked towards him step by step. A hunting dog was still gnawing greedily at the flesh and blood on my shoulder. The foul smell from its nostrils made me gag. My whole body ached. The pain so intense it had become numb. My steps faltered, and I nearly lost my balance several times. Liam the butcher looked disdainful. You're not in a position to order me around now. No sooner had he spoken than a long knife passed through the hyena's body and plunged into Liam the butcher. I grinned. And now? Ignoring Liam the butcher's bewildered gaze, I plunged the knife deeper. I had kept this long knife hidden in my tall boot. When he snatched my axe, I had thought about using this knife to fight him. But when he said he was a hunter and very sensitive to danger, I held back. This was my greatest weapon besides the axe, and I had to make sure it was used to its fullest potential. I knew Liam the butcher was cruel and arrogant. The moment he no longer saw me as a threat would be my chance to strike. I had been waiting for this moment. Comments were boiling over at this moment. I only noticed when I watched the replay. The protagonist has been secretly pulling out her knife. She deliberately let those 3 dogs bite her so badly. Right? Just to make Liam the butcher relax his guard. This is great. Everyone is saved. I still say, protagonist, please don't let Liam the butcher go. At this moment, Liam the butcher grabbed my shoulder, trying to pull me off him. Could I let him have his way? He let the hyenas bite me until there wasn't a single good piece of flesh on my body. I had to make him pay with his life. Only then would it be fair. I held on to him with one hand, and with the other, I stabbed him repeatedly. My teeth also sank into his neck, wanting to bite off a piece of his flesh. You lunatic! Let go of me! His usually arrogant and smug tone now held a hint of panic for the first time. A rain of punches landed on my head, but I stubbornly held on. It wasn't until Liam the butcher was standing at the edge of the trap that I suddenly let go. He hadn't even had time to be happy before I shoved him hard into the trap. Liam the butcher was dazed from the fall and took a while to recover. He tried to climb up, but the trap was meant for humans and was dug very deep. He couldn't climb out at all. He painfully twisted his eyebrows, clutching the wound on his stomach, and began to curse. You little b************. You only play dirty tricks. If you have the guts, come down here and let's fight properly. All right. I kicked the 2 hunting dogs that were circling me down into the pit. The 2 hunting dogs had been hungry for too long. Smelling the enticing scent of blood from Liam the butcher, their eyes glowed green, and they slowly approached him, growling menacingly. Liam the butcher couldn't help but step back. He roared at me furiously. What are you doing? I was just afraid you'd be lonely in this pit by yourself. So I specially sent your 2 dogs to keep you company. No need to thank me. Liam the butcher looked at the approaching hunting dogs, his face fearless. He hadn't treated these 2 hunting dogs well. He either beat them or cursed them, and starved them until they were emaciated. If Liam the butcher hadn't beaten them so viciously, they wouldn't have obediently listened to him. Based on his understanding of these 2 beasts, he knew they would definitely turn on him now that he was injured. Looking at the rapidly approaching hunting dogs, Liam the butcher cursed in exasperation. You're truly sick. I shouldn't have been so soft-hearted. I should have killed you long ago. Hearing his words, I laughed aloud. Was he soft-hearted? This man was more ruthless than anyone. The only reason he didn't kill me earlier was that he thought I couldn't escape his grasp and wanted to torture me to death. My smile was icy. You're right. I'm also very soft-hearted. You didn't kill me. And I didn't kill you either. Did I? My voice grew colder and colder. I'm just returning to you everything you did to me just now. No need to thank me. It's my pleasure. Liam the butcher snorted. Don't get too smug. I'm not as useless as you are. These two dogs pose no threat to me. Despite his words, I clearly saw the fear hidden in his eyes. After all, he was injured and had lost a lot of blood. He had also expended too much energy during our standoff. It wouldn't be easy for him to deal with these two dogs now. Seeing the two dogs getting closer and closer, their eyes greedy and venomous, Liam the butcher could no longer pay attention to me. He picked up a stone and threw it at them. You two beasts. Get lost. Get far away from me, or I'll kill you. The two hunting dogs first stepped back, whimpering, looking wary of him. Then, without hesitation, they pounced, tearing at his body as if they hadn't eaten meat in 800 years. Liam the butcher had no choice but to fight with the two dogs. He skillfully used stones to hit their heads. But the two dogs whimpered in pain and stopped moving. Noticing that he was clutching his stomach with one hand, one dog attacked his hand, and the other attacked his stomach.